Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, we're talking about ROM collection management with Igir. They say here pronounced Igir, or subscribe to Mr. Sujano, I'm guessing. Igir is a zero setup ROM collection manager that sorts, filters, extracts, or archives, patches, and reports on collections of any size on any OS. And Igir just got a brand new update. So at the time of filming, Igir version 4.1.0 is the latest release. And they say here there's a brand new feature, trimmed ROM detection and matching. The marquee feature of this release is that Igir can now detect trimmed GBA, DS, and 3DS ROMs and match them against DATs that catalog their full-size padded version. This feature will be most helpful for organizing your ROMs on flash cards for these handhelds. On top of that, there's some more tweaks and bug fixes and even more. If you're interested and wanted to learn more about it, like everything we talk about, links are in the description below right at the bottom. I don't hide my sources. And Igir is 100% free and open source. And speaking about free and open source stuff and interesting tools, next up we're talking about DLSS Swapper. For those who may be unaware, DLSS Swapper is a tool that allows you to conveniently download, manage, and swap DLSS, FSR, and XESS DLLs, allowing you to upgrade or downgrade DLSS, FSR, and XESS versions in a game without the game needing an update. And DLSS Swapper just got a brand new update. So at the time of filming, version 1.2.0.3 is the latest update. The big update was version 1.2. There have been some hot fixes on top of version 1.2. So in version 1.2 here, there's been a whole bunch of fixes and improvements and new stuff. For example, DLSS presets. DLSS presets are now available. This can be found in both the game picker page as well as the global override and settings page. If the game does not have a driver profile, this will not work. On top of that, they've added more languages for DLSS Swapper, and they've improved DLL display and handling. Now, I don't know about you, but I would say that's a nice quality of life update because they say on a game's detail page, you can look at the DLL history to see what was discovered, changed, restored, updated, etc. And speaking about quality of life, next up we're talking about Chromehounds, and your quality of life may improve by knowing that Chromehounds is back after 15 years. So here's the announcement post over on Reddit Emulation. Chromehounds is back 15 years after the server shut down. Originally an Xbox 360 title, Chromehounds was one of the most complex, option-rich, mech combat PvP games ever made. The official servers may have shut down over a decade ago, but the community never gave up. Thanks to dedicated fans, the game is now fully playable again through an emulator and fan-ran servers. Build, customize, and fight. And there is a link to their Discord channel where I'm assuming there's going to be a lot more help and community surrounding the game. And speaking about community stuff, next up we're talking about the ASUS ROG Xbox Ally. And it seems as if pricing for the Xbox Ally has been accidentally leaked and the community has seen it and preserved it online. Now this may be true or it may not be true. We're going to have to wait and see here once the prices are officially announced. But taking a look here, and again, if you wanted to investigate yourself, links are in the description below. The ROG Xbox Ally Z2 Extreme is priced at €899. That translates roughly to just over $1,000 US. And the ROG Xbox Ally Z2 in white is priced at €600, which is roughly, I think, 700 USD. In my opinion here, those prices are, they're a little steep, but at the same time here in terms of overall performance, I mean, the Z2 Extreme is nothing to scoff at. The Z2 itself is nothing to scoff at. And speaking about hardware, next up we're talking about Commodore, and Commodore is back with brand new hardware. It's the Commodore 64 Ultimate. Now, if you weren't aware, Commodore was recently purchased by a very avid group of Commodore fans, and they seem to be hitting the ground running here and releasing brand new hardware. If you are interested in this one, I'd recommend checking out the announcement video as well as their website. There seem to be 3 different models available. The cheapest one here is Basic Beige, priced at $300 US. I think regular price is going to be $350. And they say here it plays 10,000 plus original games, and check out the connections on the back of this. It can be compatible with a bunch of different stuff. I mean, they say right here at least 99% compatible compatible with all 80s, 90s games, cartridges, and peripherals. And I'm very curious to see this thing reviewed in detail here, and it is running an FPGA. The fancy LED edition is called the Starlight Edition, and this one here is priced at $350 and I think $400 regularly. And it looks pretty good. And the third version is the most expensive version, and it's the Founders Edition. If you like limited stuff in gold, you might like this one. It's priced at $500 US and $550 regularly, but I'm curious to see if it ever makes it to that regular price, because only 6,400 of these will ever be made. From my understanding, all three devices have the exact same hardware functionality in terms of what games they can play, what peripherals they can connect to, and it's just more or less a visual difference between all three. But let me know your thoughts about the Commodore 64 Ultimate and all three editions in the comments below. Are you interested in any of these? I personally think the Starlight Edition looks the best, but from a price to performance ratio, I mean, the basic beige may be where it's at. And speaking about paying for things in different versions for different amounts of money, next up we're talking about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. And it seems the deluxe edition of this game is the one to get if you're looking for everything. So a lot of people have been talking about this hidden SpongeBob level in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4, and apparently here it's locked behind the deluxe edition. So if we take a look, this is a screenshot from the regular version of the game. And here is the deluxe edition, and there is a huge difference. Yes, both areas are underwater, but the deluxe edition has the SpongeBob tie-in. Now, based on my understanding, unless I'm missing something here, the deluxe edition was never advertised as having that exclusive SpongeBob tie-in. I could be wrong. Anyways, here, if you wanted to upgrade to the deluxe edition, it's an extra $20, give or take. And the deluxe edition itself sells for about $20 more than the base edition. That's a very interesting tie-in overall. I mean, we already knew with the deluxe edition there was that Doom tie-in and stuff. But at the same time, locking that SpongeBob stuff for a secret stage, it's a very weird situation. And on a side note here, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 on Steam currently has a mixed overall review score, whereas Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 has a very positive review score. And speaking about reviews, next up we're talking about Donkey Kong Bonanza, which has not been reviewed yet as it has not been officially released. Although we talked about it in a previous video, in fact I think yesterday's video, where copies of this game had already leaked in the wild. If you are trying to avoid Donkey Kong Bonanza spoilers, you might want to avoid watching gameplay on YouTube. And on top of that, it's rumored that there's going to be a brand new movie here for Donkey Kong by Nintendo. But that's not this segment. This segment, we're talking about frame drops on the game on the Switch 2. This is up over on Nintendo Everything, and the director of Donkey Kong Bonanza was quoted as saying in regards to frame drops, "There are several factors to consider. First, we intentionally used effects like hit stop and slow motion to emphasize impacts. Secondly, because we use voxel technology, there are times when there are major changes and destruction in the environment. We're aware that performance may drop slightly at these times. However, as you say, the overall game is smooth, and at points where large-scale changes occur, we prioritized fun and playability." So there you have it. If people are saying Donkey Kong Bonanza doesn't have frame drops, the director of the game has confirmed otherwise. The game has frame drops. Now, to be honest with you, I'm not making an excuse here for frame drops. If you're a PC gamer, you're probably used to frame drops every now and then. If you've got an original Switch, you're definitely used to frame drops. And on the Switch too, it just seems that frame drops may be par for the course for big games. But I'm not going to lie, I am curious to see if Donkey Kong Bonanza gets optimized in time to try to avoid those frame drops, or if they're just going to be a part of the game forever. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below, and the Switch 2 already having frame drops on some big games. And speaking about frame drops, next up we're talking about a game that I don't think has any frame drops, at least not to my knowledge, and that is OutRun for the Game Boy Color. If you are interested in this game, it never officially existed for the Game Boy Color, but Shane McCafferty has been working on a what-if version of the game. It is up on itch.io. And he says here, it's time for this week's What If OutRun for the Game Boy Color update. Added the final 3 tracks this week, Seaside Town, Autobahn, and Lakeside. And here is some gameplay. On top of that, you can head on over to the itch.io page to check out an early version of the game. This is a free fan game here. You can play it right in the browser or play it on actual hardware or in an emulator. And speaking about free stuff, next up we're talking about PartyDeck, which is free and open source and may be of interest if you're on Linux or have a Steam Deck or something, or running SteamOS. PartyDeck just got a brand new update. In my opinion, PartyDeck is a neat little app. I mean, it runs up to 4 instances of a game at a time and automatically fits each game window onto the screen. Supports native Linux games as well as Windows games through Proton. Handler system that tells the launcher how to handle game files, meaning very little manual setup is required. Now, at the time of filming, version 0.5.2 is the latest update, but previously and very recently, version 0.5.0 Boom Headshot was released. And they say here, multiple keyboards and mice are now supported. This is made possible by a custom GameScope build that holds each keyboard mouse and gives each instance with a mouse its own cursor. Do note that if you use your own GameScope build, you can disable this in settings and PartyDeck will revert back to running your system's installation of GameScope. Next up here, we're talking about GOG, and if you're a fan of Limbo and Inside, you might not be a fan of this news, or you just may not be a fan of this news in general. It's being reported that Limbo and Inside are being delisted from GOG, and the speculation here is because of a lawsuit. The full story is up on Gaming on Linux, and here is the quote. "Hi everyone, I'm sorry to inform you that Limbo and Inside will be removed from our store on July 17th, 2025, 3 p.m. CEST. We don't have any information on discounts yet. Wish I could have better news for you, but grab it while it's still here." Unfortunately, I've got no information if this is a permanent delisting or if it's just temporarily delisted while maybe some lawsuits are going on or something like that. But at the same time here, the Gaming on Linux article may be worth checking out if you wanted to learn more about the entire situation. There is some speculation here, but at the same time, it seems the speculation is very plausible. Now, one of the benefits of GOG here is that it's not a license to play the game. Once you buy it, you own it. It's DRM free. And last up here, we're talking about one of my favorite recent fighting games, and that is Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. I'm a big Fatal Fury Mark of the Wolves fan. Fatal Fury City of the Wolves I think looks great and plays great and is a lot of fun. Anyways, here they just unveiled Ken. We already knew that Street Fighter's Ken was headed to the game, and now we can kind of see him in action. He hasn't released just yet, but this trailer is very confidence-inspiring. I think that Ken looks absolutely awesome in this game. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. No joke here, I'm a Ken player in Street Fighter, and well, I'm probably going to be a Ken player in Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. The combos look great, the gameplay looks great, everything looks very well executed. And I would say, and I dare say this, it kind of looks better than Street Fighter 6, but that might be an unpopular opinion. I mean, there is a comparison video on YouTube here comparing Ken in Street Fighter 6 versus Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. And I mean, Terry is in both games as well, so it makes it for a really good comparison. Let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comments below. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and the legendary one fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Feel free to discuss anything we talked about in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate. Save your state.